Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Helen. This is the Shrimpy McGee channel. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. And for those of you who have subscribed and you've noticed that I haven't made anything Shawmila related in a while, I apologize. We're deep into December and I've just been really busy, and I find that just at this time of year, I don't have the energy that I do during the summer, so things just slow down. So it's not that I haven't been thinking about Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello together, but just been busy with other stuff. And when I do have downtime, I'm kind of just not my usual self. So hopefully, as Christmas gets closer, I'll get more energy and a bit more time off. I'm looking forward to a Christmas break. Things have just been kind of hectic for me. Have a look outside. I am in Toronto, Canada, and so if you're ever curious about what it looks like here, it is very gray, but we do sometimes get this beautiful snow. It looks like a snow globe out there right now. It's super pretty. I love this gentle snow. That's my favorite kind of snow. So yeah. What do we know about Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello right now? They haven't been doing too much together. I mean, they've been talking about each other quite a bit, sort of from afar. You know, Shawn is on tour. He's actually finishing up his tour. He's going to be done any day now. It ends in Mexico City, I believe, and Camila is promoting her new album, Romance. And so Shawn does some chatting about her when he gets like these Q&As that often get filmed by fans. And Camila does a lot of talking about Shawn in regard to her new album, Romance. And it seems like it's just basically entirely dedicated to her relationship with Shawn Mendes, which is exciting for us shippers. So they're talking about each other, but we haven't seen them together too much in the last ages, to be honest. It's been a long time. And so now that they're this deep into the relationship, right? I counted the months, so they're well into like the half of a year mark. But they're going to come to a point now where he's going to finish up his tour. So they've been doing a long distance thing for a long time. So what happens for these guys now? You know, I thought about this some, and I'm not going to get into too many deep specifics about like different things that they've said, but just talk about sort of them generally and what typically happens, I would think. Or maybe not typically, but what could happen for them considering they're a young couple and they've kind of lived apart for their whole relationship, right? They've never lived in the same spot yet. That's amazing to think about. July is when they got together officially anyway. And look outside now, we're like in winter. So that's a good half year. So what are our thoughts about that? So the bottom line is we don't know too much. We know a lot about the history of how they feel about each other and what inspires them to write and think about each other and how they like to spend their free time. We know that, but we don't know what their plans are, I don't think. Now, as we know, you guys are always the experts. I have so many fun fans and fellow shippers out here that leave comments. So definitely leave me a comment if you know more than I do, because I am always willing to learn, and I love hearing from you guys so much, and I always respond. But I don't think we know what their future plans are, and that's kind of an interesting space to be in, right? So I'm not gonna be saying anything negative about them. You guys know I don't do negative on this channel, except I do sometimes throw a little bit of shade at Justin Bieber. Just like a tiny bit. I try not to overdo it because he's got enough to deal with. He has enough problems that he makes of his own making. Anyhow, okay, no more about him. We don't know where they're gonna live, do we? My bet would be that they move to Los Angeles together. And will they live together or not? I'm not too sure. I think that maybe they will. Now, if you guys have heard anything about this, please let me know. I wonder if anybody's asked this question so far. Christmas is coming up, right? And so I feel like Shawn will be here in Toronto for Christmas and she may join him, but I feel like they're gonna be flying around a lot together in the days that are just around Christmas, and they'll definitely spend New Year's Eve together, 100%, even unless one of them is commissioned to do something that I don't know about, which would not be new, which would not be something new here. If you guys know me well from my other videos, you know that I don't. This is so weird. I don't follow either of them that close. Like I'm not interested, it's so weird. Like I'm not that interested in either of them as individual entities. I just love the idea of the romance. Like I'm just a shipper through and through. I kind of don't care that much about them individually and you know, I don't. Like, there's many people out there that know everything that they've said, and they're like on top of all the interviews they've done, and that's so definitely not me. I just love seeing them together. For me, it's almost like a visual thing. Like, my interest gets piqued when I see the two of them together. When they're apart and talking about each other, it kind of doesn't interest me nearly as much. And so I rely on you guys to bring me those little bits of information. So yeah, so that's where we are with that. What I was gonna say is, how many of you out there have been in a long distance relationship? What did you do to make it work? And I have been in one, and in my opinion, the way that it can work is if you know you're eventually gonna end up together. Like, you have some sort of plan. Maybe the plan is not for right now, but it's like 2 years down the line. But like, I don't know that an indefinite long distance relationship can work, although I know that they have done in the past. But in general, people like to have some sort of plan, and that gives them a sense of security. But what makes Shawn and Camila much different from you and I is, yes, you and I might struggle through a long distance relationship, and I'm not saying they don't struggle. What's different for them is they have money, okay, and a lot of it, which means that they can fly anywhere they need to go, which makes a huge difference. So as we've discussed before, you know, we think that maybe Camila flew in, well, we know that Camila flew into Japan to see Shawn, and nobody was really much the wiser for it, and that's great. But you know, when you have a lot of money, you can do that, and that's something that us regular people cannot do. So in that way, it can sort of ease some of the burden of a long distance relationship, but I don't feel like they're gonna wanna do long distance forever. Call me crazy, but I have this sneaking suspicion that they might move in together. They won't do it in Toronto, and they won't do it in Miami, but if they're gonna do it somewhere, I feel like it could be Los Angeles. Or I was gonna say maybe New York, but no, I think that LA is kind of the place that they would go. I don't know why I have that feeling. I just feel like it's important to them. I feel like their very early relationship was centered in LA. You know, we got a lot of the pictures of them at the white party together. Do you remember? We're talking back in the summer now. Nostalgia. You know, we know that they had a really special day in San Francisco. So I just feel like California is a special place for them, but we shall see. We shall see what ends up happening to them. That is my suspicion. I feel like probably this last half year was very difficult for them. So I feel like also my guess is that when they are together more, things will start to change for them and the relationship is going to mature. Because when you're not seeing that much of each other, things are very fresh and very fun. You know, they might not have had their first bad argument yet. They might not have had to do a car trip where, you know, one of them keeps getting lost and the other one is getting frustrated, or all those irritating things that happen when you see each other all the time may not have happened for them yet, but those days are coming, and it's not a bad thing. Those are the things that help to mature you in your relationship. And they're both so young, so it's going to be interesting to see, but I think that it's nothing but good for them for the next 6 months. That's my guess. And then Camila's going to be doing her tour as well. So they're going to have to contend with some long distance no matter what. I mean, their respective careers are heating up, and I think the two of them together have just combusted it because there's just been so much scrutiny. And with scrutiny's bad, I agree, but I think the good thing is that it really ignited interest in their music. Much more interest than there would have been if they did not have this romance together, which is coincidentally the name of Camila's latest album, which has been doing well. So yeah, so I think that's where we are with that. I am thinking good things will happen in the next 6 months, but I think it's gonna be rocky. But anyhow, that's just my opinion. I am just, you know, a lay person. But if you look in my comments, here's something really interesting. About a month ago, and I've not discussed this yet on the channel, but you can go, I'll link you guys up, have a look in the description box. You can look at the video, and then you can go into the video's comments and read this, and you can go back and chime in if you want. But what I'm gonna show you right now is that we have someone with some psychic abilities who left a comment, and this comment was from a month ago, and I've never read it on this channel, but it was really cool. It's really cool to get comments like this. So if anybody has anything else like this, please do drop me a note. But let's just have a look at this one for fun. I just thought it would be a cool thing to kind of comb through and see what resonates now that it's been a month and where we are with it. So I had this commenter by the name of Janie. So shout out to Janie for leaving this comment for me. Let's have a look. I will bring it up on the screen for you guys. And we're gonna see what we're gonna see about the relationship, and I wanna hear from you guys if you agree, disagree, if you've got your own feelings or thoughts about it or premonitions about it. You've heard mine now, which is not really based on any sort of psychic ability. It's just based on my own life experience. Curious to know what you guys feel about it. Okay, so let me bring it up. Okay. Janie Vachon, who I believe is from Quebec. Shout out to Janie. So there's a bit of back and forth, so let me just get into the gist of it here. Okay, to answer the question, because Minnie had asked about what Janie's thoughts were as a psychic about the relationship, and so to answer the question, I don't know how much you've heard from him that I can add to it, other than meeting another psychic. Then yes, Shawn is finally, after months and months of hookups and opportunities that turned out negative to him because some girls took advantage of his kindness, he is in a healthy relationship. Also, I'm a little bit uncomfortable to say much publicly because sometimes people seem to forget that the future is never cast in the concrete and could always change, which brings them to come after the psychic. Oh, meaning people will attack the psychic. And as a mark of respect for Shawn and Camila, I really don't want to say much publicly. I can link you to my Instagram to talk to you a little more in details in private if you have specific questions. Same goes to you, Helen. So that's me. So she's inviting us to check out her Instagram, and I'm going to try and find that and link it up in the description as well. Maybe I can add that at some point the relationship unfortunately didn't start on the best note because of their publicity. So I think that, psychic or not, that's probably pretty fair to say. I mean, things were tough for them. Remember when they made that fish kiss video as a response to haters? So that means that they were taking in what the haters, I mean, they were rejecting it, but ultimately they did hear what the haters had to say. So it probably was a tough time for them if we're looking back. They had their downs and that brought a lot of struggles because the hate seriously affected them, which brought a lot of discomfort that created a slight atmosphere of a relationship that didn't go in the optics of a lasting relationship, okay? There were a lot of stepping back and doubts. They cried a lot and had a lot of panic attacks, which brought them to take a step back and look at the hate differently. I so believe this. They're so emotional, and Shawn openly struggles with anxiety, but I can totally see that happening. They decided to advance at their rhythm and to overcome their anxiety together, which proves a healthy relationship. I totally would believe that. I can totally see that happening. They have this soul connection that just proves that they're going to stay together for a long time. They helped each other in the best way possible with the resources they got, and now they've overcome their insecurities, and it shows for both of them. And so I would say a month in, after this was written, that's still true. They're actually very interested in showing themselves and shouting some months now. So we're not getting rid of them that easily, and this is advancing in a very positive note for them. That's all I'm going to say here. If you have any more questions, I can link you to my Instagram, like I said. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I reread that. I remember reading that, and I was just getting so many comments at the time, and it kind of just, I did read it, and I do read all of your comments, and I thought about it a bit, but I just felt like there were so many elements of that seemed so true. Oh my gosh, so thank you for that comment, Janie, so much. That was so cool to read, and it just felt like the truth. I don't know if it was or not, like only Shawn and Camila could answer that, but there felt like, sometimes you just read something or hear something and you're like, yeah, I think I'm hearing it as it is. I definitely felt that about that comment. All right, everyone, I'm gonna leave things off here. Thanks so much for watching this with me. Thanks so much for your patience. I apologize for the time it took for me to make this video. Been dealing with a bit of December mayhem. Like, subscribe, do all the things, ring the bell, you know how it goes, and we'll see you here soon. I hope to make another video when we see them together. I would imagine sometime around Christmas, so maybe they'll be here in Toronto, so stay tuned. You're gonna wanna hang around for that. All right, everyone, bye.